Greetings. Greetings again. The time is always near. The time is always short. If we could only see this with the spiritual eyes. The Apostle Paul, if you're married, to live as you're not married. If this, to live as you're not this. If this, to live as you're that. The point is, that's the spirit of his people, to live as if, to live day by day, seeking and following the true Messiah, not called Jesus Christ. The God-man. There is no, it's put away. Purge out the old leaven of malice and wickedness. The time is always short because we don't live very long. And from our Father's perspective, if you will, the time is short and near always. For those that have Messiah in them, these are the things that must be coming in their life. And to live as if Messiah is coming. Doesn't matter what time, 500 years ago, live as if he's coming. Not literally is the teaching here, but spiritually, to live in that way always. That's what this is. Now, Noah's Ark is a perfect example, a picture of the judgment at the end and the judgment to come. And those that weren't ready, we're not talking about being tortured forever, my goodness, but this is still important because we wouldn't want to be this. We don't want to, right? We don't want to be weeping and gnashing with teeth. Better start believing our Messiah's words. He's given me to repeat that it will be manifested at the end, that everyone that didn't follow Messiah, the true one, and have the Father in them, the Creator, the true one, would have done what the last generation will do. And all the saints would have done what they will do at the end. See, because it's spiritual. The bloodshed from Abel to Zechariah, charged on one generation. In Revelation, I think we read the same thing. Because it's the same mind and heart of the people. It doesn't matter if he comes or not in this generation. Now, I say that to try to draw out the way to live. Not that it doesn't literally matter, but hopefully that's not going to be taken wrong. But there's going to be people passing by that there always will be, Now, there's a concern about a lot of false prophets out there, and they're teaching that he won't come, that there is no judgment. It's what they're really saying to come, that there is no actual kingdom to come, which is amazing. But I am only saying whatever I've been given because I wouldn't know anything either. But we're like screaming at the rooftops, but the boy cried wolf for 2,000 years. Who's going to listen? And the devil did this evil thing, and the Father purposed it and more than allowed it to be for 2,000 years, this thing. So then no wonder he'll come like a thief in the night. But this is only for those that he's not coming a thief spiritually to them. Because those that had the mark of the beast 500 years ago would have done the same things at the last generation. It's a spiritual mark. It's loving the world and buying and selling. It just might be that it's manifested, but we're not supposed to be concerned like this is the heart thing, a chip. This is the heart thing, a vaccine, And that's not to say not to ever speak on these things or whatever he's giving us, but that's not it. That's not the true thing and where it's at. It will be manifested. He who saves his soul shall be destroying it. He who destroys his soul shall be saving it. It will prove that all the followers of Messiah would have done the same thing at the end. That they will show that they didn't love the world and worship the God of this world, which will be a requirement to save your soul. But this should have been important for someone 500 years ago. Because if they didn't follow him wherever he goes, the true one, the same result for those at the last generation. It doesn't matter, you know, talking about real things, not fake things. Noah's flood is a picture of what it will be. No one will listen to them. There's only going to be few, and there's a judgment coming on the earth for all its wickedness in the mind and heart, spiritual things. His people will rise up and come back down just like Noah. And it's a promise that all will be judged also, is that's what it's teaching. And it's teaching there's only few. And it's teaching that the many won't believe that destruction and judgment is coming. Oh no, what are they doing now? Okay, I'm good. And they must go away, you know. Go away ultimately if that's what they've continued to believe, because it's a lie, and any liar has their part in the lake of fire. How could someone that has his spirit not believe truth? What do they say is coming then? That those that don't believe this, those that don't believe that the kingdoms of the beast will be taken over by the saints and Messiah, the King of Kings. What do they say? Nothing. You just float away somewhere. They don't. Atheist. Just the doctrine in the head. It's a question whether they even believe at all anything. It might not be. It might be that, you know, this thing is repented of, but that's some serious trouble there, to not believe there's the last great day. And the resurrection happens on the last day, like we read somewhere else, more than one witness. The last great day, Lazarus is resurrected. But if you believe in me now, you will not die. You'll never die. It's not speaking of literal death. To have life in him, to be ready for the future, the kingdom to come, that is now, that we enter now, and those that don't enter now into the ark won't enter in the future. Those that enter into the ark now are entering into the future, the kingdom to come. When truth is given, anyone that's false will see the masses run away. They weren't followers after all. They will save their soul. It doesn't matter what chip or vaccine they talk about. They will do anything to save their literal soul, proving they never believed. Instead of lay down their life, destroy their soul. Be willing to lay down, destroy your soul. Those that do that will find life. Those that don't will be finding destruction to come. When it comes down to it, the false prophets will be talking about some mark of the beast, and we'll watch them, continuing to watch them have the mark and love the world and save their soul. Amazing, the grand deception and delusion that is and will come. Manifested to prove all the spiritual things were true all along. That to prove that anyone who didn't worship the Father had the devil as their father, whether it's the evolution God or Trinity, it don't matter. They did the works of the devil, their father. That's what it's going to be. And it sounds harsh, man. It sounds brutal. I know how it sounds. His word is brutal like that, harsh, but his heart is far from that actual thing, you know. It's always 180. The devil looks soft and good and wants peace for the world. Its heart is brutal. It's a stone. It's hard. It kills people. We can read in Revelation that all the bloodshed will be charged, I think, again, like I read somewhere. And all the saints are looking for proper judgment for the evil things they did to them during the whole entire time, for all of his people. He's not waiting for a spotless ecclesia at the end only, but it will have been all of them as the spotless ecclesia, as one throughout the new covenant age. He will be with us till the end of the age, meaning exactly the opposite of so many teach to trick people. If he's with his people till the end of the age, there's nobody he won't be with. that's in Messiah. See? Everything starts fitting in its proper order, the prophecies and truth. There's no understanding. They thought, oh, the kingdom come. We read about it. He's supposed to be a king. What happened? They killed him. This is the same spirit. So then they don't believe in anything to come for real, or they believe in the anti-Messiah to come. I see the world is shaping up in a way that will divide those who worship the God of this world from those who don't. All, great and small, rich and poor, doesn't matter. All religions, all deception will be tricked into this thing that whoever has the devil as their father for real, or a false another Messiah in them, it will just be manifested and proven. That's all I see, that it's going to be proven. But Messiah in us is the only important thing by itself, because if not, then all other things don't matter. Someone could see that. Messiah in someone 500 years ago if it's by itself, that's the only thing that matters, because speaking of a false prophecy of him coming in the 1800s will have been in vain for that person. It will be Noah's day for that person, We don't want to be doing that. False prophets will be everywhere multiplying, and they will start saying, like they already have and made comment, he's coming on the 12th, the 13th of May. And it didn't happen. Who was that person? Who was it? And there's many others that are doing that to cause this delusion and division, confusion. The devil's working. Messiah is talking about the latter days of that it will be many, man. Specifically, there always was, but it's like real bad at the end. I mean, it's real bad. And they want to hide that and try to break it somehow with doctrine that's leaven, corrupts people and destroys them. They must seek truth from our Father through our Messiah, the only teacher. Oh boy, what's going on? Please accept. Please do more work for the beastly kingdom. It's amazing. So I don't know what is tomorrow for me, or 6 months from now, or 8 months. Just going day by day. Like, Abraham might do something else, might go somewhere. The point is, we follow him. We don't create our own path. Planning ahead in advance, that starts dying in us for real. It's not able to do this, the carnal man. It must plan ahead and have everything in advance. Eat, drink, get married, get drunk with the servants and beat them, is the spiritual thing in the parable for anyone that wasn't living as if Messiah is coming in their life. For each individual, the parable is for us, no matter what time it is, of things that are now the kingdom and to come. These are the parables that if we don't understand one, we won't understand all of them. But if we truly understand one, we'll start understanding all of them the way it needs to be. The mysteries of the kingdom. We don't expect anyone to teach truth, this world, to give pure truth. We shouldn't even expect that. To expect that is like something that needs to be cleared up with that person still. We have to look like we're insane, no one will listen to like we can read of. They just want to stone the prophets, the false prophets. Their skirts will be lifted because it already was, as types and examples of things that are always true and will come. Adam must be uncovered for his false covering. He covered himself and Eve. The only covering that counts is his covering, those animal skins, the sacrifice. That covers the only real one. It's going to cover our sins. They're forgiven, wiped away clean. It's true forever his people are, but we don't live in some kind of prideful way according to what we understand. It must live day by day testing itself. But they are forgiven for whoever his people are. They will have overcome, but we don't live in some kind of prideful way like that. So people don't understand what that means, forgiveness. It means like, oh, if he forgives us, then we can't literally make mistakes, sin anymore, you know. That's far from the truth. To be covered is to be under his favor, and he's forgiven us, but he's going to judge us for the things we do. The judgment is on the house of Elohim now. Being spared from that great testing that's to come. They're being tested now in a way to refine them. This testing and this delusion that's going to come, it already is. Never speak as if it's not. It already is. Is going to continue to work like the anti-Messiah spirit was back then. Always was. Always working. Always will come. And it's leading up to a man who's going to clean the swamp. Now, I'm not concerned with who's the beast, you know, because we're understanding that the man himself is beast. That's what we repent of. But what I would expect to come then is someone that looks good, that says they're going to restore order and expose evil things. It might not be a coincidence. All I'm saying is that the last trumpet, he doesn't come before the last trumpet. That we have a man that's powerful, that's named Trump. It could just be a sign of things to come for those that are, you know, alive and awake. The last trump. It doesn't matter. He'll give us whatever we need. That's not the concern. All I'm saying is it's looking to shape up like that. Someone we've never seen exposing evil, which is such an evil contradiction if the person himself is evil. It's a lie. It's a trick. And maybe we won't be able to buy and sell, but we're not worried about that. We shouldn't be, because he'll show us whatever we need if we believe in him every day. You can't look like that to the future in that way, spiritually. Manifesting those that love money and love the world. They will choose to save their soul. Even while they speak of some mark of the beast, they'll be saving their soul. And choose that, and choose the God of this world instead of he who destroys his soul. And we should understand the spiritual understanding, but to manifest is to literally be so. To manifest the spiritual. That always was true, you know. Isn't that a great proof? Makes sense. It's a great proof of all those that actually love their life, love their soul, and don't hate mother, father, brother, sister, mother the way we're supposed to understand that. They will have gone along to get along. So there's no tribulation in their life at all times is what the wicked want to do. In the meantime, there's always tribulation for his people. It's always true, and it's to come. We weren't promised an easy path, but the rewards are heavy for those that go through it. And the reward is heavy for destruction. On the contrary, you know. This is their reward, Messiah said. See, look at them, the Pharisees. That's their reward. Understand, my disciples. That's their reward. Look at it. It's as good as it gets. Destruction's coming. Everything they did crumbling down in vain. That's not good. We lay our lives down like Messiah did and say we don't want to be LeBron James. We don't want to be kings of the earth, because that's to be prideful and every other sin. In order to receive those things, give them up. And all the world wants these things, they give it up for real. Pretty serious. They don't teach things that put fear in people's mind and heart. That's what they try to run from. Comfort, 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 peace, 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 because you say there's comfort and peace, and no sword, no judgment. By sword and famine you shall be consumed, I read to the false prophets. You say you're rich and increased with goods, literally, in this world, thinking you're doing good and godly, blessed by God. Such a grand delusion. But you're miserable, wretched, poor, blind, and naked, and I believe Messiah, not the man who says they're rich and increased with goods. That's who they are already. That's who they will be to come, to judgment. And my question is, for anyone teaching Messiah is not coming, why? Get down to why. We'll find out it's ugly. It's ugly. It might not be a follower of Messiah if he continues to resist and say some grand truth. My goodness, all of it's connected to Messiah. All his truth's connected to this, as every truth is connected to each other. To not believe on such a grand truth is to throw away everything else. It's corruption. Massive. The man of sin does have to come before Messiah's coming. That prophecy's still true. There's tricksters out there that say they think they're spiritual, say spiritual words that does away with this truth. Strangely enough, they all say the same thing. You just float away with your immortal soul up to some heaven, and that's it's just to run away. The doctrine, it doesn't care about that or really believe that. It's just to run away from truth. It's to deny the kingdom coming that already is. You could see why it would be so hated by so many false prophets in the world. Because if that's coming, that means these things here are going. Goodbye. If destruction's coming, that means destruction's coming for them. So we'll teach doctrine that tricks people and teaches the spiritual opposite thing, but the words sound good and smooth on the outside of the false prophet's lips. Pretty serious. And I'm not going to ever be one that says today, on the 12th and 13th, this is already evil and sin for me. What I could say, what I'm getting in the spirit is last generation, possibly. The signs of the times is what we're looking at, not what the world is seeing. Not clouds that you could see and say it's going to rain tomorrow, but you don't know the signs of the times. And Jerusalem was destroyed, the harlot, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. That's how it will be at the end. That's a type of the things to come. Not in one location, but all the world. And his people are scattered all the world, and they're not in one location. They will be, though, in the future and not before. So for those, one way to deceive many groups of people is to start speaking of Jerusalem in a way that this is the true Jerusalem over there in the Far East, and these are the true people. That's a deception that will take down millions or billions. To say that this is of the Creator, but it's actually of the devil, and everyone believes it. There is no gathering until Messiah is coming. Anyone that teaches that anything else is a snake and a robber and a thief. He doesn't come until his people are actually doing good works and keeping the commandments, a certain number that he knows. He doesn't bless sin, killing people, loving the world, money, concerned with the world, the 6-day war and slaughtering people. Are you kidding me? Those are the wicked. The synagogue of Satan with their hexagram flag. It's a masquerade. It's a trick. It's a replacement to look like something that's true, and it's not. There is no gathering of his people until they do what's right as a whole. Certain time, a certain number. There's no gathering until the last trumpet sounds. Anything else is carnal and is exposed as wicked, a deception. They're going to hate this. Of course they're going to hate this. Of course, all those accepting Messiah will hate this, the true things. Part of the test and battle, man, to not be believed, to not be seen. The body is hidden in Messiah. This is true. They can't see because they don't have spiritual eyes, so they don't believe anyone that is an actual believer. They can't believe that they are in their own mind and heart. They can't believe that. They believe us for wicked. Just like we read they will do. Count it for evil, doing good, and giving truth freely, the things they can't do. They can't lay down their life spiritually, and they won't when it manifests. And this is a teaching that's true, and he shows me whatever needs to be shown is whatever I have now, and no more, no less. That this beast system really does want to kill them, because it always has been spiritually. But once again, when we use the word manifested, it will look like something that's spiritually true. Herod is a type, that's what he gave me some time back, of seeking out and killing a bunch of people just to get to one believer. And the Messiah, of course, being the first example of those after him that the world seeks to kill constantly, always true. And kill all the 2-year-olds and under just to kill Messiah, because they're afraid of the kingdoms being taken. That's why someone wouldn't teach Messiah is coming, because they're afraid of their kingdoms being taken. Still attached spiritually with the world. It's a trick. And I don't want anyone to be tricked. But they'll say everything we do is lies and tricking people. I know. Every lie that they teach is easily and quickly contradicted, shown that it's contradicted with the truth, and they still teach what they teach tomorrow. The same contradictions that they got raging and angry for, with scripture and simple words and connections, and then they go and do the same thing tomorrow anyways. They know they got caught for contradictions and lies, and then they still do it anyways. They know they get contradicted with truth, calling his word and his truths mystical, Gnostic. A few words, a few scriptures, contradictions, and they still do what they do and don't repent. Isn't that what I read in Revelation? The Almighty, that always was, is, and is to come, the Almighty. He will not be proven a lie for one person ever. In Revelation, hard times, always spiritually, spiritual destruction, and they don't repent. They blaspheme his name instead. See, if someone's resurrected from the dead, they won't believe. That's the teaching, not burning in literal fire forever. It's teaching things that are in the world for real, that Jerusalem was the harlot, and he hands the kingdom to the nations, Gentiles, to be grafted in for spiritual Israel, Jerusalem, spiritual Jerusalem. They couldn't believe this. What do you think Christianity is going to think? It makes my head want to pop. Nothing different than what I read already. It's the truth. It's an abomination and blasphemy to say the harlot's destroyed. It's coming. That's what Jerusalem already did, and everyone spiritually has done that hates the Father. They will not believe the harlot's crashing down and Babylon is fallen is Babylon. And the only thing they care about is merchandise. Oh, the merchants, the ships. Wow, so many ships. What are they doing? Merchandise. Our Father's never wrong. He declares the end from the beginning. Giant ships, all for selfish, self-righteous, merchandise gain for self and greedy. We need to start learning what greed is from him, not from a man, anyone down here, but from the true teacher, so that they can start doing things right with their heart for good intentions. That's the works. The intention of the heart is the works, whether evil or good. that could lead to, it's not that the other things aren't works, but this is the only important thing by itself is the works from the heart. Why it did things. Genesis, no different at the end than the flood. The intents of the thoughts of the heart is only evil continually. No different now. No different. Don't talk about judgment to come. That might make someone rage. I say this as a mockery, but he's coming for his people. All of them, not just the last generation, dead bones. Wake up. Be resurrected. How dare someone say this isn't truth? Because they're spiritual. Because they're spiritual, so-called, there is no actual resurrection. It's a trick. I wonder who planted that seed. The whole entire body of believers, all of Israel, shall be saved. All of Israel, no partiality. His people shall be saved. This is the real salvation they receive, because they were being saved in this life, and they were saved, past tense. All true at the same time. These are those, the patience of the saints, that keep the commandments. Those that didn't, workers of lawlessness. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? This truth makes sense too. I did so much. I did this. I did that. I even cast out demons, whatever. I don't know you, workers of lawlessness. Oh, the church world teaches there is no law. This makes a lot of sense, why there will be many workers of lawlessness. They did evil with their heart, lawlessness, their whole life. Never repented. Scary how true his word is and how true it will be. It's mind-numbing. These people don't know who he is. They don't know his power. They don't know who he is. Nor do they know his plan and intention for humanity. But nevertheless, warning people that this place is getting ready for destruction. This is a lot of sin going on. Selfishness, lovers of self. Wow, what a perfect, when he says last days, it means last days. It was true and now it's over. Yes, it was true. Always is true. But in the last days, it's like the worst ever. Welcome to 2021 with social media and worship of self. What an amazing prophecy. That's all it is for self. If someone could see what pride and self-righteousness is, selfish is. It's amazing. Face, selfies. It's all about self. I'm God. We're strong. We conquer another day. No, it's not. It's all a lie. Because people need him. They need life. They don't have life. The devil's stupid wisdom, serpent knowledge, is the knowledge so-called science. It's the word knowledge, so-called, that the devil offers through trickery and deception. And it will be good for knowledge. You will be like God. You will be like Elohim. Yeah, in the mind and heart, says the serpent. You will be like him. I say, and so it is. I don't say, and it's not. The law's gone, so it is. Oh no. Oh no, there's no actual reality to that. Just the delusion for a time. No reality. Houses are coming down that are built on sand. Coming down now, they were coming down, and they are to come down, man. Salvation means there's no more evil and darkness. It's the full thing. That's the end. He who endures to the end of their life, yeah. And to the end, whatever someone's end is, doesn't matter, shall be saved. The Apostle Paul, not contradicting with another gospel, a second gospel for the Gentiles, Messiah's gospel for the Jews' wickedness. Running the race till the end. If you don't go to the end of the race, no crown. Wow. Yeah, the apostle didn't teach anything different or contradict anything spiritually. Messiah was teaching him. He doesn't teach contradictions to his people that contradict what Messiah taught. He teaches us the same things. You fight to win. If you don't, you're a loser, the boxer. You don't get no reward. This is the reward for those that don't go to the end. This is the reward. There's no reward to come, immediately to come. There's a judgment to come, destruction. The sons of Elohim will be revealed, manifested, and it's going to start with this final thing at the end. It's going to be the starting of the revelation of who they were, because nobody knew. The world never knew or believed them. They're the outcasts of the world, the crazy, insane people that don't have church systems and buildings, that are not known but only spit upon continually. Even by their own family, they have to live like Messiah lived. Their brothers didn't even believe in him. His brothers didn't even believe in him. And a man's enemy is that of his own household. Spiritually enemies. Spiritual war. They say these words, they don't know what it means. They replace the truth with a false thing so they can say the words, we're Bible believing. What it really means is the perfect opposite of whatever that truly means. That's the truth. They can't forsake self and the world and the love for it. It's going to be proven. Our Father's going to prove it. Prove all things, test all things. He's going to do that himself because he already is before he commands to be. He already is all that. He's going to prove it himself and test it. Give a testing to the world and see what this thing does. What's it going to do? It's going to marvel and wonder after the beast. The beastly kingdoms. Trouble? Yes, some trouble. But it's going to be a delusion. People were still living, eating, and drinking during World War II. I would say maybe something similar to that to give a picture. It's not going to be obvious and apparent to anyone that's not in Messiah, Yahushua, and no other. It won't be. It's not going to. The crazy things to come, it'll already have been too late. The actual flood coming, boom, too late. Oh, now you see signs. Here's the signs you wanted. Too late. See? But there's signs for us that are spiritual. That's the main thing for us. What this world is doing and why the intentions of the heart is doing something is our signs. It's never going to give this truth that it's doing this to kill the elect. Are you kidding me? Everything it does is to cover that truth. That's what it's doing, though. That's what the devil always has been doing. He's been working this out so that he can be consciously worshipped by all people and be accepted by all as the God of this world through his anti-Messiah God-man. Replacing Father, Messiah, the firstborn son, of which there would be many after him. He has the Father, the devil, has his own Messiah called the God of gods. It will not go different than what I read in Daniel. It's already true spiritually. It always has been. These are the things to come. We have confidence in the things he gives us. We're not confused. It won't look like it to the world. So they'll say we're stupid and foolish right up until the end because they're blind. We're like, hello, wake up, people. Wake up, oh sleepers. Can't you see what's going on in this world? So then from their perspective, foolishness continually. From their perspective, that's what it is. I think I got to go now. I might have lost a few minutes already, but it pales in comparison, whatever I'm doing right now, compared to whatever truth is that comes from above. It might be a good idea. I'm just saying, first and foremost, to always seek the Father, be spiritually ready. It might be ready to try and survive the starvation, but because of the fact that they won't go along with the world. They won't go along with the world. Maybe they won't be able to buy and sell to prove they don't love the world. So, how could a preparation of that be evil? Preparing to not love the world? But I know that many will die, though. Anyways, we can't, even if it's uncomfortable, we can't skip prophecy that man, if it's so bad that if the days weren't shortened, all of the elect wouldn't be saved, dead. This is true. This is prophecy that will manifest. Of course it's spiritual, but it's going to manifest. The prophecy's not a lie. The devil God man will be taken out by the Messiah's, the real Messiah's coming, just like it was for us when he came to us to destroy the God man. Both are true. It's a perfect picture, not perfect, I guess, because it always needs to be given more of what the devil has been doing, why he's doing it, and why a man is being set up to be God and save everyone. First, resurrection already happened. Wicked, go away. If they can't repent from that, go away. Destroying people's faith, destroying people's what they do with these doctrines. There was no resurrection. I read the dead know nothing. They're dead. They don't know anything. And they teach that because they're spiritually dead and don't know anything. Just because the spiritual understanding is the only real valuable thing, it doesn't mean that there's no resurrection. This is insane. It's a trick of the devil to suck people in. I read the resurrection and prophecy about the dead bones. This is all Israel being saved. Who can believe this? Well, no one except the truth, those in Messiah. This is the truth. Nobody wants the truth for some reason. It's good news. Heart must be exactly what our Father says it is to hate good news like this. Looking down on us from heaven, blind, leaders of the blind. No, they're not. Check the grave. Those bones are still there. There's no resurrection. I would run from people that don't believe these things. Something's not right. Something is spiritually really wrong. There's a lot of people that are going to look like they believe, and they don't. Because we read many shall deceive many. And there's less believers, I believe, than there normally is because of Noah's day. There's a deception of many being saved. Mega churches with people foaming at the mouth and falling backward, shaking. Thousands upon thousands and millions, they're going around. This is such a massive delusion. Jumping up and down in wickedness. These are those converting them to judgment. This is not real. We're not on the news about how great we are. It's insane. They can't do that. They can't have someone that's a true believer proclaimed all over the world with the news. They would run from that. That's what they try not to have on there. It's the devil's beast system. He doesn't want anyone that's real. This is the truth. They're not known. They're just doing things for self and self-gain and glory. That's it. The world's so blind that it thinks billionaires are humble. My goodness, it's not even possible for that to be true. I would be favoring that you have a little less than what you think you need, because to keep us in check. But we know the truth, not to have too much or too little. Of course, they'll create definitions of too much. Well, the threshold's $20 million, not to have too much, but you can be filthy rich and involved with the world. Liars. Abraham is a type of being blessed. They're tricked in their own deceit. Lambs, sheep, brothers, mothers. You'll be having a lot of brothers in the resurrection of the just. You'll be rewarded with sheep. How about that? And these are types of the spiritual blessings available now. Houses, sheep, people in Messiah, They didn't have anyone in this life, practically, just about. So the opposite comes. Who has much and a lot of friends? Now they'll have none when it flips around and when he comes. Everything flips around. Someone that's going, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know anybody. Maybe one person or two or something. That's normal. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, not where 1,000. That don't exist. Don't exist. There's not 1,000 believers somewhere just all gathered together. It's why he says 2 or 3. That was a revelation to me. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, because maybe, just maybe, that's usually pretty much what it's always going to be for his people. And the false prophets that killed everyone, these people will hate those false prophets that deceive them. Everything will be proven perfectly, beautifully. Someone that sends you to judgment never loved you, right? It'll be proven. Someone that wanted them to go to the true Messiah, it will be proven. And not themselves. Don't worship the angel, the messenger in Revelation, John. Oops, little mistake, chastisement. Don't do that. That's what everyone else is doing spiritually. Not literally bowing doesn't mean they're not doing that, because we're talking about spiritual things. There's a spiritual, real attachment to something that someone's not in Messiah, of another man, a system, the world, a literal worship spiritually, an attachment that they can't let go of. We need to destroy all these gods and idols, just like Israel did. First and foremost, in the mind and heart, destroying them, breaking them, dashing them, burning to pieces, fire. I wonder what the kingdom will do when it comes. Well, it's not going to be the beastly kingdoms anymore, that's for sure. On earth as it is in heaven, there's a veil, there's a divider between the corruption and no corruption above. This divider, Revelation, is giving a picture. We have to be careful with Revelation of this divider breaking down and the earth becoming one with heaven. The two shall be married, one, where the earth needs to be no more corruption, like above, like it always was. This is why they teach sin in heaven, not understanding spiritual things in Revelation and a couple other places. This is why they teach angels are a bunch of filthy sinners, not doing the will of the Father. They're only doing the will of the Father, only. And they're a guide. That's the picture. Angel came to Abraham. We have at least one or two guiding us, maybe correcting us at the steering wheel so we don't die, and we would have died if we didn't look up that last second. But spiritually, though, too, Paul says you dwell in the heavens with an innumerable amount of angels. We're connected, see? There's a spiritual reality, but it's to come, though. But it's true now. We're heavenly, spiritual, above, like Messiah. That's what we need to be. I'm from above, you're from beneath. Those above are protected from the wrath of the devil on the earth. Carnal earth needs to become heaven. Woe, woe to the earth, for all the wrath of the devil is in them, destruction. We're hidden in the heavens with Messiah, see? A real spiritual reality. And in the heavens, the devil has no power up there. That's the teaching. Thrown down from having power over all the earth before Messiah's time, as carnal people doing wickedness with their heart secretly. That was the revelation of self-righteousness and the Father's righteousness. So that's the powers he's thrown down to the earth. He can't touch those hidden in Messiah up in their heavens. Like Job. He can't take his life ultimately, but he could get close. But our life spiritually, the life he gives us, the devil can't just take it at will. So this throwing down means that there's a few people overcoming actual sin and death, and the devil and the works of the devil, the heart things that was never being overcome before Messiah and the followers of Messiah forward. Was never a real spiritual reality in the heart. And then it was from that point forward for believers, overcoming the real works of the devil. All right, I gotta go. Seek truth as always from our Creator, Yah. Know Jesus Christ, God. We gotta dash that image to pieces, or we're in serious trouble. Yahushua, the firstborn of the spiritual dead, the first man from humanity, from the seed of Abraham, Adam, David, like we read, the offspring of David. It means offspring. That's the true Messiah that came in the flesh, but he was born from above, receiving the Spirit to become a son is spiritual. It's nothing to do with God's physical seed. This is the devil anti-Messiah that everyone's going to believe in. All right, I gotta go.